So the answer that Melissa gave to this question is a good answer. I'm just going to show how to type it here in WAMAP so that it looks nice, right? It's not very different than what she typed. It's just formatting helps to make it more readable, right? The problem that we were looking at is the limit as b goes to 8 of 1 over b minus 1 over 8 all divided by b minus 8. So I would type it like that, and then I would do one of two things. I could either select it and click this add new math, and it puts it in these little backslash single quotes, right? Or typically what I do is I just type, I select what I want in math, and then I type on my keyboard that backslash single quote, which on my keyboard is just to the left of the number 1. And you see it puts it in math format. Now, when I click off that, click out here in space, then it shows that formatted as we want. Now, typically, I do not put it in math yet. So I'm going to undo that and leave it like this. The problem, once you're in math mode, WAMAP doesn't like cut and paste. So I generally don't do it until the end. So I would leave it like this and then say, okay, I'm going to copy this. And for the next line, I'm going to paste it because I'm going to do some work to it. Now, so I guess I am going to do this a little differently than what Melissa did. What she did was she got a common denominator up in the numerator. That is, she multiplied each of the fractions 1 over b and 1 over 8 by 1 in order to get a common denominator of 8b. What I want to do is I want to multiply the whole fraction by that common denominator of 8b. So I'm going to multiply by 8b divided by 8b. It's equivalent to what she did. I think it just takes one less step in the long run here. So there, I've done that. So now if I could show you what it looks like in math mode here, right? It looks like I'm multiplying by 8b over 8b. Now the distributive property is going to put it into the numerator, but I'm going to not do that yet. Sorry, I'm not going to do it in math mode yet. So copy, paste. And so one of the 8b's here gets multiplied by the bottom, and the other 8b gets multiplied by the top. So this fraction here is going to be multiplied by 8b, and this fraction here is going to be multiplied by 8b. So that was the one for the numerator. And the denominator is just going to be multiplied by the 8b as well. Okay. Again, I can show you what it looks like in math mode because I want to cut and paste. I want to copy this and paste it because now I'm going to simplify these fractions. The 1 over b times 8b is just 8. So this just turns into an 8. And the 1 over 8 times 8b just turns into a b. Okay. So I think at this point I've ended up where Melissa did, but I did it slightly differently. The point is here, I'm doing this. Typically, I don't keep going back and forth to math mode. I just type it, copy, paste, type the next line, adjust it, right? So what happens now is what? So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it. The 8 minus b on the top and the b minus 8 on the bottom cancel out, leaving a -1. Essentially, got to factor a -1 out of one of those. So I'll leave a -1 on the top here and get rid of the b minus 8 on the bottom. I can probably get rid of one set of parentheses on the bottom now too. And so now I've got the limit as b goes to 8 of -1 over 8b, and that is equal to -1 divided by 64. And now that I'm all done with the calculation, I go back generally from the bottom to the top and say, put that in math mode, put that in math mode, put that in math mode. So when I'm creating the videos for the lectures, and also when I'm answering people's questions and have stuff all typed out already, this is the process that I'm doing, is I'm typing a line, copying, pasting, adjusting it, copying, pasting, adjusting it, and then when I'm all done, I use that little tilde sign, not tilde, but the backslash single quote up next to the number 1, and put each line in math mode so I can see what's happening here. And so I'm hoping I got the same answer that she did. I quickly double checked, and yes, I did get the same answer here. So the notion here is you got a 3-layer fraction, you got to get it down to a 2-layer fraction. A couple of different methods: get a common denominator, and then you're dividing fractions, or do this thing that I'm doing here and multiply top and bottom by the appropriate thing that's going to cut it down from 3 layers to 2 layers. And the appropriate thing was 8b, because the 2 denominators that I had there were 8 and b. So with the distributive property, then when you distribute that in like we did, the denominators all canceled out. The b canceled out here, the 8 canceled out there, and I only have a 2-layer fraction now. So, and remember, you can always multiply by 1. You can also always add 0, because those don't change the value of what you're working with. So anyway, there you go. There you go. A quick review of, or a quick introduction maybe, of how we type nice looking math into WAMAP. And I will post this as a response to Melissa's answer, so you can see it in its final form in WAMAP as well. So here is the final form. You can see it even looks a little better once it's posted as a response rather than just in the editor